everyone, welcome to Movie Section Show. My name is Fariva, and if you guys are not aware, there's been a lot of great stories coming out of D23, one of which includes the first trailer for the upcoming series Vision Quest. I'm very excited because this is technically kind of like its own trilogy series, because if you guys don't remember, there was a very small show called WandaVision that came out roughly 5 years ago. It took the world by storm. I think a lot of us weren't even exactly sure how the show was going to end up. And honestly, like, from my reaction back then, it was an absolutely phenomenal show. I think to this day, it's still one of the best Disney Plus Marvel series that we've gotten. And we'll talk a little bit more about just kind of the future in regards to that. But I think ever since then, it really showcased just the peak of Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, which honestly I was waiting for such a long time. And I mean, the show itself really delivered. And then since then, we've also gone Agatha All Along. I think that was like last year. That show ended up being really fun as well. And so, yeah, just to kind of close up this loop, if you guys don't remember, Vision ended up going somewhere, right? We haven't really got any kind of update about him, although we knew for a fact that he is still trying to find some kind of answer, especially with his white vision. And now it looks like we finally are getting a little bit more of what the show is going to end up being. So I don't want to wait any longer. So without further ado, let's get right down into watching the first ever trailer for for Vision Quest.
I'd work in here. I remember when you'd come in all the time with that red kid.
Oh,
I was a different
Scotland?
person back then.
How about now? Anyone waiting for you tonight?
No. Home is just me.
It's like,
I'm already liking it.
Who am I? I was an Avenger, but I'm not a hero anymore. I have his face, but not his virtue. All I have is his name.
Welcome home, Vision.
Well, he's back.
This house is getting crowded, Vision. All strong, human avatars only.
Human.
Sir, I cannot overstate the dangers of keeping him around.
Yes, but he is Dad, Papa, Peepaw. I'm a stranger to myself. That family wasn't real. You sure about that?
Oh,
about it.
I'm getting mental.
Called Vision. Muzzle tov. It's a boy. How is this possible? Free us all and save your son.
Oh my god.
I wish to understand my purpose.
With a genocidal maniac
Oh,
inside
this
your
is-
head.
Oh my god.
Nothing bonds a family together quite like mortal jeopardy.
I love it. Okay, so that was the first trailer for Vision Quest, and I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. It's definitely bringing back all the energy, the quirkiness, the craziness of WandaVision. I think the moment that we just saw the part where we see all these movie posters and him viewing, like, you know, the movie, like his memories, but in like a theater screen, that was just giving me like a lot of WandaVision vibes, which is exactly like the best thing, because what made WandaVision so great is how unique it was in implementing or try to showcase Wanda's grief and her trying to mourn Vision's death and her trying to kind of cope with it, right? I mean, the whole point of the series is her trying to cope with death of Vision, and doing so while going through a phase of like different eras of shows. And we're seeing something quite similar here. Now, that is not to say that I don't think this is going to have like the whole movie kind of aspect where we kind of see like different eras of like movies. I don't think that's going to be the case, or maybe it is, because I mean, from the looks of it, we do see so many different variations. Like we do see, him in like specific periods. We even see, I think that's James Darcy. I from what I recall, he played Jarvis in Agent Carter, and then he actually showed up in Endgame, if I'm correct with that. Because I remember him. I remember watching Agent Carter. And it's so hard to kind of pinpoint this show because, like, honestly, watching this trailer, there's just so much to digest. There's just so much to digest, and honestly, I think this whole series it's just like it's looking absolutely amazing. Me, the moment that okay, so I'm gonna just go back a little bit, just because it's pretty clear what this series is about, which is the fact that, White Vision is trying to kind of understand who he is, what his purpose is. We saw that at the end of WandaVision, and we never really got any kind of answer in regards to that, right? Because we just had WandaVision, then Agatha all along, and now we have VisionQuest. And, we've been introduced to the character of Vision for a long time. I mean, he's actually, in a sense, the one of the more original characters, or I think, if I have this information correct, he is actually one of the he's actually one of the first Avengers in the original comics. Of course, in the MCU, that's not exactly the case. He doesn't come until 2015, but even that being the case, he's always been a very key character. Yet, whenever we've been, seeing Vision, whenever we have Vision as a character, he's always kind of been on the sidelines. Although, again, that's not to say that, he hasn't been very important. But this is maybe the first time, aside from WandaVision, of course, that we get to see a little bit more of Vision's perspective, his kind of POV. And just looking from this trailer, like, it's very clear that they're bringing in the essence of what made WandaVision so great and implementing that here. But instead of having Wanda being a key character, it's now Ultron. Because remember, the reason why Vision came to existence was because of Ultron. Like, back in 2015, we remember that Tony and Bruce were trying to develop like this technology that the purpose. Sorry, my cat is trying to play with me. The purpose of creating these androids was to protect Earth, right? Because Tony had a vision. He realized that there's a bigger threat coming, and as a result, he wanted to create an android that would protect Earth, and that was supposed to be with Ultron. Ultron didn't end up being the way that it is. He ended up being very genocidal. We saw what he did with Sokovia, and so, of course, eventually we did get Vision, and Vision ended up being the antithesis of Ultron. And now that we see this series where it's like, okay, well, Vision is now having to deal with Ultron, because if we recall, he eventually does have like some kind of essence of Ultron within him. And so there is a point of him where there is a little bit of Ultron inside him, and there's just one point where now he's trying to integrate that, trying to deal with that mentality of him in here. Because I guess this is kind of like a battle of minds in one person. And it's kind of funny because now we're seeing that Ultron is kind of like the subconscious of Ultron, of Vision. And not only do we see Vision, but we also actually see like the human form of James Spader in the series. And already, like, I'm loving him. I'm loving him because James Spader is such a great actor. He did such a great job voicing Ultron, and now here he is, like, in his human form this time, and now he's having to kind of toy with Vision, which honestly, I don't think you can get any more WandaVision-esque than the way that we're seeing here. I think this is maybe the right approach that we're seeing with the VisionQuest, and that actually makes me very, very excited just to see this. We do see, I can't remember if that's Billy or Tommy. I know that he's the one that who's the speedster, right? I can't remember if that's Billy or Tommy. Because right now my cat is making a lot of noise. But we know that the speedster son is gonna be in this series. I can't remember if it's Billy or Tommy at the top of my head, because we know that Joe Law plays Wacon, right? No, I have to double check my. I have to kind of clear up my Marvel details, because I can't even remember half the stuff right now at the top of my head. But we know that we're gonna see his son. While we saw Joe Locke's character and Agatha all along. We're now seeing the other half of the twins here in this series. So it's like kind of nice to kind of balance that out just to see them a little bit more grown up this time around. And sorry, my cat is just trying to play with me, which I will do it once I finish this. But that being the case, I'm very excited to see this because it does seem as though that's going to also be a key subplot going into VisionQuest, where again, this is the whole idea of Vision just trying to cope with who he is, trying to deal with his consciousness, trying to find his purpose. Because that is, again, the big question mark that we had back in WandaVision, where he doesn't know who he really is. And therefore, he's now trying to kind of go through this archive of who he was originally as Vision, and then of course having to deal with certain aspects of his life. Like, I mean, it makes sense why JRC is coming back, because the point of Jarvis and how he came to be is that it was based on his character. So the fact that we actually get to see James DRC again after so many years, right? I'm pretty sure he was in Endgame. I have to again refresh my mind a little bit, but he was in Agent Carter as well. I mean, that's where I originally first saw him. And now just to see him kind of play a part in this series where he actually is a key reason why Vision even exists, because of Jarvis. Because remember, Jarvis was the one that, you know, eventually had to deal with the whole thing. Then he got destroyed by Ultron, yada yada, right? We all saw Age of Ultron, so we don't need to go through that. But even then, this makes me really excited. I really love the style. I really love the creativity of the show that we're seeing so far. Again, it's really implementing the same style that we had with WandaVision, which honestly, I think that's the best way to do it, right? Because I think to this day, we all keep saying that one of the best Marvel series that we've gotten has been WandaVision. So why not trying to, you know, grasp and, you know, adapt to that same style, but also trying to apply in a way that it works with the Vision storyline. And so it's great because I mean, I know we haven't really gotten a whole lot of updates on this series for a long time, and then suddenly it's just like, oh, it's coming. And now it's like, okay, this series coming in October, perfect timing. I mean, this actually comes like roughly a year after Agatha All Along, if I have this correct. And not only that, but this is the way to really conclude this whole series that started with WandaVision, because WandaVision was the beginning, Agatha All Along was the second, and now we have a third with VisionQuest. And even then, technically, Billy, I'm pretty sure Billy, I have to figure out which one is which, but we know that Joe Locke's character is with Agatha in that world. Now we're seeing Vision with his other son here, and it's like, I'm very curious to see how he tries to process everything, because this is basically what it is. Like, I think what I really love about the show is that there's a little bit of a psychological aspect to it. I think that's really what made these series, you know, very great in terms of storytelling. And now that Vision gets to have his own story in this case, I mean, what better way? And I think there has been rumors that he probably may end up in at least one of the two Avengers movies. So we know that's going to be happening at some point. But even beyond that, it's going to suck because this could be the last Marvel series based on like the main thing that isn't part of like the banner stuff. So I think Daredevil Born Again isn't affected by this, but there's been a report going on that apparently this could be the last of the Marvel series in a while, because they want, you know, Disney wants to focus on the movie stuff, which I get it, because like some of their series haven't been as great. They haven't been as great as Loki, hasn't been as great as WandaVision. So if this is indeed the last of those kinds of series, I mean, there's no better way to end it off than with VisionQuest. And I think right now, just from the looks of the first trailer, it looks absolutely fantastic. I think it actually makes me very excited for it, just because like it's bringing me all these memories of WandaVision. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So, and now the question is, will we see Elizabeth Olsen? Who knows? I mean, we do see the archival footage, but aside from that, like, are we going to get are we going to see her come back? I mean, honestly, I could see it. It could very much happen. I feel like you can't have a VisionQuest series without Elizabeth Olsen, because, you know, Vision and Wanda were such, you know, we're so closely connected. So, but again, that's something for a different time. But what are your thoughts now, having seen the first trailer for VisionQuest? It looks absolutely fantastic, but I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the series based on this? Do you think Elizabeth Olsen could end up showing up in VisionQuest? What do you think about the storyline that we've seen so far? What do you think about just the style of this series? Like, it's really giving a lot of WandaVision essence. What are your thoughts about WandaVision? And, you know, are you excited just seeing the fact that it's quite similar? And yet, despite that, like, what are your first impressions so far having seen the first trailer? Let me know your thoughts below. Make sure to like and subscribe.